think now is a good time to try boosting right before battles. Great leaders often tell stories, or make...
I'm not a leader. And definitely not a
May I remind you that you're the only one in touch with Reverie? Your scope of action is much larger than everyone else's. I don't doubt that it's uncomfortable, but people look to you for a reason. It's about the darkest days of Athena. A time when the Oxyon civilization was on the brink of collapse. I think we should try sharing it with people.
There was a war? In Reverie?
Apparently. It doesn't go into details, but it seems the fall of the Oxyon culture set something off. The aspirations turned on each other. It was quite brutal, it seems.
They never told me.
I guess they didn't want to heap any more pressure on you.
Me?
You. The Oracle. They couldn't find a way to end the conflict, so they created the first Oracle. In turn, the Oracle chose a new heart. Of course, until this week, I thought it was all a metaphor. A parable on trust or something.
And here I was, thinking all copies of that little ditty were destroyed. I'll have to tell Power. It'll send him looping.
It ends with the aspirations vowing to help Athena in return for the Oracle. Sounds familiar.
I see what you're doing.
Me?
Maybe it would do everyone some good. And that everything turned out okay.
That's why stories exist, right? Community to inspire. You coming?
Yeah. Just... I think I'm going to go straight to the source on this one. Come on.
Oh, no fair. You cheated. All those powers...
Oracle? Comes with a title. You were listening?
Only a bit. Well, a lot.
Want to tell me about it?
I don't know. The others might get all moody. They don't like talking about it. It's all ancient history this and water... Then again, perhaps a story might not be the worst idea.
Yeah, I think you're right.
The stage is yours.
Hi, everyone. So this is an old Oxyon story that, well, I think it might be just what we all need right now.
Oh, let me tell it. Do go on, I'm ever so good. Pragmatic is my middle name. Not really, of course. It's Suzanne. At first,
there was nothing.
very nice, good diction. There was nothing for a very long time indeed. And then, there was me. The first aspiration born from humanity. You see, we're not creators, we're not gods. We're concepts. Your concepts, made real by the collective subconscious. As the first Homo sapiens looked out into the world, from that possibility came... I helped them make sense of the world, embrace the limitless, appreciate the boundless potential.
Then I came along. I taught humanity how amazing community could be. Every time you lot take a new turn, one of us lot is born.
And for a long time, it was just the two of us, wasn't it, you little gremlin?
That's right. I was the warm fire after a hunt.
And I was the growl in the night. The open plain, ready to be explored.
And after that...
Well, indeed. Things may have gotten a little...
War of the Aspirations. It began... I cannot say how it began, but the first blood was drawn between chaos and power.
That doesn't surprise me.
In a sense, it was inevitable. Chaos desired greater freedom for Reverie, and so they hoped to abolish the heart. Power disagreed. His army lay siege to the labyrinth of chaos.
Army? Power mentioned...
With enough egregor, we are able to conjure familiars, or split ourselves into 1,000 willing facets. Power used both. But chaos laid their traps well, and their trickery ate away at power's advance. They say truth is often the first casualty of war. And so it almost was for us. They attempted to break the deadlock, on whose side I cannot recall. And they paid a heavy price. For my own part, I tried to stem the tide of hostility. But no one would listen. Those were dark days indeed.
It was rather horrid. You saw what happened when you rescued me from that misery pit and removed the heart of Reverie. All hell broke loose. We were all afraid it was only a matter of time until the fighting broke out again.
Reverie and Brittle are mirrors. The state of one affects the other. And in the island of Atina, we found the keystone, but was it we who caused the downfall of the Oxions? Or was it the waning of their culture that forced us? Impossible to know. The bond between our realms is not a single strand, but an endless sea of connections.
That whole mess and when you can't rely on causality, at least you can get a second opinion.
Someone to choose the heart. Someone to help shape the direction of Reverie.
Someone to become the heart behind the heart.
Worked out pretty well, I'd say.
Go on then. You've got them in the palm of your what's-it. Don't lose them. Maybe talk about the first oracle. What were they like? Why did they choose who they chose?
Good luck with that. Can't imagine you getting anything worth repeating out of the... Or at least nothing coherent. Everyone's got an opinion.
It's like our story, isn't it? We did our part. Now it's up to you to bring it home.
Oh, it doesn't end! No stories end. They just peter out. Look, I can tell you this much. For every cycle of humanity, each time there's a big old change, a new aspiration is born.
We're well overdue for a new one. Like, really, it's been ages.
The truth is, I don't know what happened next. I don't know what the Oracle is meant to represent. I guess we have to make up our own story from here on.
Oxion writings tell of a final Oracle. A chosen one, for lack of a better term. Their deities, the aspirations Polly spoke of, all of them were waiting for this final piece.
They called this oracle Harmony. They referred to every oracle this way, hoping against hope that this time the title would stick. Hoping for the moment an oracle would become one of them, an aspiration.
Who were the Oracles? How did you choose them? What do you want from me? So, nothing's changed, has it? I'll have to figure this out by myself.
Harmony, wait!
Don't call me that!
The truth is, we chose the first oracle.
We needed them.
We needed their guidance.
We needed an end to the war.
So, that's all they were? A tool?
Initially, yes.
But then, well, we realized you're all right, you lot. Humanity.
You may not believe this, but it turned out we'd been so obsessed with our own affairs that we'd completely...
And so the arrangement became permanent, and the oracles became a guiding hand on the rudder of Reverie.
Not leaders, but advisors.
Major domos.
Producers.
Friends!
But what about me? What?
That, I'm afraid, is up to you. What kind of oracle you choose to become.
Right. Right. Well, in that case, I'm going to be... I will be dedicated to causes greater than myself. Previous oracles were peacemakers. I want to look at the whole, not the pieces. An oracle has to be fearless, ambitious, determined. Every decision I make must be firm, with everything I have behind it. Change requires strength, and I have the strength to be an effective oracle.
The first oracle had this aspect also. They brought us together, a rare occurrence during the war, and bade us create the Nexus. A place of truce, where debates could rage and opinions could be shared. It did not end the war, but the damage was reduced, as we took our fights to podiums, not battlegrounds.
So how did they do it?
End the war? They had to look beyond the borders of Reverie to see the whole. They had to bring peace to Brittle.
Wait. That sounds like a pretty lousy way to end a war.
Polly, you were talking about the first oracle like you were relaying someone else's words.
Oh, yes. I didn't realize I was, I guess.
They're right, of course. The role of an oracle should be to integrate themselves into Reverie, immerse themselves in the ways of the aspirations.
I know if I had access to all human wisdom and knowledge, I'd definitely want to learn from them.
The first oracle split their time between the realms. They learned from the aspirations. This was their skill. Duality, but to end the war in Brittle, they ended up spending more time there than in Reverie. They spread the word of their sister realm. They told people the lessons they'd learnt there. Soon, the population gathered around the oracle, willing them to bring peace. And soon, the oracle gained the power needed to fulfill that wish. The Oracle noticed how interested Chaos was in humanity.
Who, me?
And that aspiration grew closer to them as the Oracle spent more time away from Reverie. They joined them on their extended trips to Brittle.
Well, I'm sure I don't know.
Chaos told the first Oracle a secret. That they were shunned by their fellow aspirations. Ostracized. Because no one wanted to admit the truth. Chaos is the most powerful of them all.
This was back when Athena was facing its darkest days. There was an ecological disaster. The specifics are lost to time, but we know the population was devastated by vicious storms, which brought floods and mudslides. Then, as they are wont to do, a dictator arose, taking advantage of the pain and suffering to wield absolute. The people were despondent. The ruling class's own inadequacy provided the perfect distraction. As they lurched from one calamity to the next, the populace grew ever more apathetic. And when there were signs of rebellion, half the...
It was up to the Oracle to break this cycle. To break the system that had enslaved the people. So they had to act. The Oracle had faith in the people to dig themselves out. They pursued a path of knowledge, teaching the populace a different way to live. The foundations of new forms of government were built, curiosity reigned, and people studied the world around them. What's more, people shared their knowledge. They didn't secret it away or censor it. This gave them more power through the sum of that knowledge. They decided to... They decided to start again, thanks to the gift of prescience. The Oracle and a select few decided to begin a new cycle. They believed Athena had become unsalvageable. The Oxion civilization collapsed. After a few decades, all that was left were some musty books and ruins. The tyrant destroyed the rest. But the Oracle and their followers were safe. They found a corner of Athena to call home. A space where the tyrant's influence was weak. They created their own way of life and lived.
Great! So, what? This Oracle and their...
My thoughts precisely.
And they thought this tyrant would just... Let me guess.
But wait. Change is a long-term process, right?
Sure.
So how do you enact that dictator guy? Long gone. Consigned to the history books. How many people here have even heard of him? What if that's because of the seeds the oracle?
Yeah. So go on then. Which aspiration are you going to choose? Who becomes the heart?
Connection, empathy.
Yeah. Yeah, I think...
It has been a long, long time since I was elected heart. Maybe because humans often associate kindness and understanding with weakness and frailty. But when I am placed at the center of Reverie, connections are made. Art, creativity, trade, all flourish. Eras under my guidance often see the growth of incredible civilization, but often these cultures would grow cruel and overwhelming. When expansion required it, colonization, I will never get used to the duality of your kind, capable of such incredible empathy.